Off the bat, I don't like this guy. He's giving shake. Vibe? We not vibing, we trying to get married. We got a minister on Love is Blind? What the hell? What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxy with Roxy Says, and we're gonna talk about it. So today we are meeting and getting acquainted with the cast of Love is Blind Season 5. Now, if you do not know, Love is Blind Season 5 will be premiering on September 22nd. Netflix did release a couple of teasers and snippets introducing us to the new cast, so we're gonna watch it together, and I'm also gonna read a couple of the bios from the cast, because there are already a couple of people who got me a little afraid. All right, y'all, so let's get into this cast. Why are you single?
No, I'm a loser. No.
Not a loser.
I'm still single because I have a mouth on me and I don't apologize about it.
All right, so let's start with who we've met so far. We met Paige. Paige is 32 years old. She is a stylist. And Paige says that being too nice to the wrong people has led Paige astray in her past relationships, but she's done letting people take advantage. Okay, period. All right. Kindness is key, as one of her biggest turnoffs is people who are mean to waiters or staff. Yes. That is big. If you go on a date with someone and they are nasty to service workers, to their waiters, it's an automatic no. That's gross. I've always said that everyone should have to work at least 6 months in some type of service job. Like, that should be mandatory, because some people, they don't understand how nasty they are to service workers. And it's disgusting, but let's move on. Paige says ultimately she wants to find someone who loves the way she loves, which means leading with a big heart, having genuine respect, and making a true commitment to each other. That is so sweet. Paige seems like she's gonna be entertaining. So let's see, who else did we meet? We also met Maris. Maris is the one who says that she got a mouth on her and she don't apologize for it. So Maris is 30. I appreciate Love is Blind listening to us and getting people who are at least 30, okay? Clearly they've been listening to something, not everything, but something. So Maris, like I said, is 30. She's an HR specialist. Maris has only ever been in one serious relationship that ended unexpectedly after 6 years. Oh man. Since then, she spent the past 2 years searching for a guy who can deal with her strong will and won't make a fuss about her hair getting everywhere. First and foremost, Maris is a family-oriented person who'd love to bring her future husband along to crawfish boils, yes, and to Lao New Year celebrations with family. And if he ever gets hungry, one of Maris's best qualities is remembering to bring food home even if you didn't ask. Okay, so that's Maris.
I tend to pick people that don't fit me.
Child, not another Josh. But anyway, this Josh is 32 years old and he is a sales representative. So Josh has been waiting for an opportunity like Love is Blind because all he's ever wanted in life is a wife and a family. But have you wanted to be a husband? Hello? Because we got some people who want a wife. Yeah, but do you want to be a husband? Hello? There's two parts to it. Wanting a wife, but you also got to want to be a husband, and wanting a husband, but you also have to be a wife. Come on, don't get Roxy to preaching now. So he says that all he ever wanted in life was a wife and a family. Past relationships with poor communication have left him feeling particularly unlucky in love. So he's taken the last year and a half to understand himself better. Okay, that's good. After past heartbreak, building trust of paramount importance for Josh, whose best quality is being open and honest. Okay, well, that sounds good. We'll see how you act up on the show. Let's keep going. Aaliyah, 29.
My parents would just say, you need to sit your ass down somewhere so that you can actually fall in love with somebody.
Either I can date the mailman or the pool guy, or I gotta get out of the house.
All right, so now we have Aaliyah and Renee. So let's see what they're about. I will say this cast looks like it has a lot more melanin than our previous seasons, but we also know how Love is Blind tends to do. They'll show them in the previews and then we don't see them ever again in the show. So we'll see if they do the same thing this season. They got Aaliyah first on the lineup, so let's hope that she gets some camera time. All right, so Aaliyah is 29 years old. She just below the 30 mark, and she is an ICU travel nurse. So Aaliyah flies all around the country for work, but when it comes to love, she's always missing her connection. I like that. Y'all caught that? She's always missing her connection. She's been living the single life for more than a year and keeps meeting men who aren't truly ready to commit or lack honesty, loyalty, and consistency. Aaliyah's dream guy is an intellectual foodie who can feed her stomach and her mind. Yes. If she can stop overthinking, the pure and gentle relationship she's seeking could be right around the corner. or through a glowing blue wall. Okay, so Aaliyah is an overthinker. A lot of times overthinkers do self-sabotage, but we'll see. I do have high hopes for Aaliyah. Okay, so this is Renee. Renee is 32 and she's a vet. Oh, my bestie is a vet. So Renee feels like she's been single forever and she's been extremely focused on her career in the 5 years since her last major relationship ended. Now she's ready to step into a new chapter and straight into the arms of a very manly guy, beard preferred. Girl, you're on Love is Blind. Like, a beard should be the last thing that you were. Anyway, beard preferred, who can get down with her homebody lifestyle and pets. But Renee knows that she'll have to fight her tendency of being overly picky to start a family with a live-in hubby. That is, if she can keep track of her dates, as she has a bad habit of forgetting people's names. Okay, Renee sounds like a bit of a mess. Renee's already giving me mess. I'm sorry. Let's keep going. So this next question is, what's one thing that could annoy your partner?
This one, okay, let me see.
That's a hard one because I'm pretty perfect. No, I'm kidding.
I can be a bit low in emotional intelligence, so I really have to stop and think about it.
Okay, so let's read about Chandra. Chandra had some trouble picking just one thing that her partner might not like. Yes, legs. Do you see these legs? I'm loving it, okay? Yes, Chandra. So Chandra is 32 and she is a flight attendant. Chandra is a flight attendant who's used to catching flights, but these days she's intent on catching feelings. She's looking for a guy who gives her that spark. While she can be overly critical, especially of guys who aren't like her dad, Chandra is seeking a connection beyond looks, that's good, and based on personality. But as a natural problem solver, she needs her forever partner to take accountability for their actions. A guy who cannot admit when they're wrong just won't cut it. Yeah, that's annoying as hell. Okay, that's Chandra. Who's next? So Estefania is 30 years old. She is a teacher / dancer. And she's looking for a guy who can 1-2 step up to the plate. As a high school teacher, ooh, that must be tough. As a high school teacher who also teaches dance in her free time, she's ready to meet a man who matches her hardworking energy, but she admits that she's been too picky in the past. She's not looking for any specific type in the pods and is willing to let the experiment work its magic. That's good. However, she has no patience for men who are controlling or dirty. Yeah, that's kind of a given. So hygienic, caring, and faithful gentlemen to the front. That's really funny to me because clearly they'll be dating behind the pods. So she won't really be able to get a sense of their hygiene until she meets them. So what if she's behind the pods and she's falling in love with this person and then they meet and the breath is kicking, the fingernails are dirty. Child, she's probably going to be in the pods asking so how many times a day do you brush your teeth? Do you shower in the morning and at night? When you shower, do you wash your legs? Do you wash your feet? Because how else is she going to know? Okay, so Justice says that he can be a bit low in emotional intelligence. So I guess it does take a bit of self-awareness to even be able to acknowledge that. So I guess that's okay. But I hope that he doesn't use that as an excuse to go around just being an a-hole. And when someone calls him out, he's like,
yeah, well, I lack emotional intelligence. You knew that already.
So Justice is 28 and he is a personal trainer. Stay thirsty because Justice's best habit is drinking water. And if that isn't enough, he's also a good listener who can be supportive and romantic on occasion. For the past few years, Justice has put dating on the back burner and prioritized his career. Now he's ready to place love above everything else in my life. Ambition is the most important trait he's looking for in a partner, as his future wife must have big dreams of her own. And with his schedule, he can't be expected to just drop important things for dating all the time. Okay, what does that mean? Because he says that he had put dating on the back burner, but now he's ready to place love above everything else in his life. But at the same time, he can't just drop important things for dating all the time. So which one is it? Are you ready to put love above everything else in life, or are you still putting your career first? And he's 28, putting your career first, I get it. But he's kind of contradicting himself in this bio. You get what I'm saying? Tell me what you think below.
Blunt. My mouth has no filter. I think I'm always right. A majority of the time, I usually am.
Okay, so we met Uche, and he said that he is very blunt. He is 34 and he is a lawyer/entrepreneur. As a lawyer, he's used to letting his analytical mindset take over, but in the pods, he knows that he'll have to lead with his heart. After being single for 2 years, he's ready to switch up his dating habits, especially when it comes to putting an emphasis on physical appearance. Okay, so he's been all about the physical in the past. He's trying to change that. That's good. Instead, Uche is looking to connect with an ambitious woman with a good sense of humor who will join him to create an us against the world way of life. Okay, I like that. But I want to see how blunt he is. You know, some people, they try to mask being rude as, oh, I'm just a blunt person. Hopefully that's not him, but I guess we'll see. And then we met Ephraim. So this is the guy who said that he thinks he's always right and he usually is. Don't we love people like that? So he is 27 and he's in software sales. So he might be the dating app pro, but he's grown tired of connecting with women who are unable to hang out in person and talking to multiple people at one time. Okay, this experiment suits him well because he's much more comfortable diving deep into conversation than picking up girls in bars. Do you really be picking up a bunch of girls at the bar, Ephraim? You don't give that. I'm just saying. Anyway, he's a very active guy who's looking for an outgoing, funny, and athletic woman. Athletic. You know what that gives me? Remember Shake from whatever season when he was asking women if they're athletic and if they like to work out, really just trying to find out their size. Yeah. So that's what this is giving me so far. But he's looking for an outgoing, funny, and athletic woman who can join him on walks with his dog and swing by dinners with his family every Sunday. While he admits his worst habit is thinking he's right a majority of the time, the fact that that is in the video and also in his bio, that says a lot. That says a lot. While he admits his worst habit is thinking he's right a majority of the time, he's willing to be understanding and patient for the right partner. So if you're not the right partner, he won't be understanding and patient. Off the bat, I don't like this guy. Off the bat, I am not feeling this guy. I'm not. I
don't know if this would get on their nerves, but I burp a lot.
So Stacey says she burps a lot. That's not really I don't think that's a big deal, but let's meet Stacey. Oh, I like this little outfit she has on. Okay, so Stacey is 34 years old. She's a director of operations. So Stacey has only been single for less than a year. She's freshly out of a relationship, but she's ready to push herself to open up and be vulnerable and to find a man of her dreams. In the pod, she's seeking a family-oriented, outgoing, and driven individual. Stacey needs someone who can keep up with her in the gym. I wonder if she's gonna be like Raven. Remember Raven from last season when she was like exercising while on her dates? I wonder if she's going to be like that. Stacey says she needs someone who can keep up with her in the gym, as she's a former college athlete who teaches Pilates, Raven, Miss Pilates, in her spare time. She's seriously turned off by one-uppers who don't have an awareness of other people. I agree with that. You know, someone, you tell them a story, you tell them something you're going through, and they're like, well, I went through this. Yeah, I hate that. Just sometimes people just need you to listen to what they're going through, not to try to one-up their situation with something that you have going on. Sometimes people just need you to listen, right? And if Stacey does find that one, he'll have to be accepted by her family, as gatherings for games over the holidays are major events and get super competitive. I think that it's important for your significant other to mesh well with your family. It just makes things easier, right? Unless you have one of those families who no one is good enough for you, then you have to have discernment and be mature enough to know, like, okay, it's not that this person is horrible, it's just that my family is horrible and they want to sabotage every relationship I'm in. I guess if we do see more of Stacey, we'll get more insight about her and her family dynamic.
To get ready. This morning took like 4 hours.
Oh, I love her little dress. So cute. And her shoes. Okay. So Miriam is 32 and she is a scientist, honey. Yes. So judge a book by its cover and you might just miss all that Miriam has to offer. She's a scientist with an impressive career in the pharmaceutical industry. She usually seeks an emotional connection before developing much stronger feelings. So Love is Blind is Miriam's ideal way of meeting her future soulmate. But not just any guy will do, as she's looking for a sincere, driven, and successful person who will put in genuine effort. While Miriam doesn't really have a type, she hopes the pods will at least have some older and taller guys. Okay, Miriam? Again, she did mention non-physical attributes as being important to her, but she did end it with the height. That is not a guarantee. And in all honesty, given these cast pictures, I don't know how tall Miriam is, but these guys don't look super tall. Like, they're not giving like Cameron tall. Remember Cameron from season 1? Cameron was tall. Who else was tall? Who else is tall?
My diet is really bad. I'm not a picky eater at all. I just eat fast food a lot.
I can be directionally challenged, which is ironic because I'm a geologist. We're supposed to be good with direction.
Okay, so Chris says that he eats fast food a lot. I feel like they're giving those answers like when you're on a job interview and they're like, what is your biggest weakness? And you're like,
Oh, my biggest weakness is I care too much. I work too hard.
y'all aren't giving real reasons. You get what I'm saying? But Chris is 28 years old. He is a project manager for commercial and retail development. Chris has a history of going for the wrong women, but he's looking to break his pattern by falling in love with his best friend in the pods. Aww. Bottling up emotions and communication issues have hampered his past relationships, with his longest one spanning 3 years. Since being single, dating apps have left him frustrated as Chris only matches with women who seem to not be looking for commitment. He wants a lifelong partnership. Honesty, selflessness, and humor are the traits that will grab his attention, and someone who won't mind hopping on the back of his motorcycle. Okay, I don't see any major red flags with Chris yet. I guess time will tell, but nothing really stands out to me about Chris. You get what I'm saying? Let's move on to Connor. Connor is 31 and he is a geoscientist. As a geoscientist, Connor is used to figuring out what lies beneath the surface, so he might just be the perfect candidate for the Love is Blind process. After years of putting his career above all else, he's ready to find the person to share his dreams and aspirations with and make the most out of every moment they have together. But marriage is no joke for Connor, who plans to get down on one knee only once in his life. I mean, that's what everyone hopes for, right? But that's not always what happens. Smart, independent, and preferably bilingual women who love the outdoors will catch Connor's attention. Bonus points if she can hold a tune, as Connor's family is very music-oriented and carols for Christmas every year. Okay, that's cute, but I don't want to hear Connor singing like Sal did. Remember Sal, who would be on his ukulele in every episode, singing, singing, singing? Connor, we don't want that, okay? We don't want it. We don't want it.
I go number 2 with the hairdryer on.
So Taylor is 26 and she is a teacher. 4 years of being single has left Taylor so tired of dating based off looks, when all she's been seeking is a soul connection. In the pods, Taylor is laser focused on meeting her future husband, who she says must be honest to a fault. Oh, and at least slightly taller than her. Lying is her ultimate deal breaker, period, as past exes haven't exactly been faithful. And should she leave the experiment with the ring, she can't wait to deck the halls with her partner because Christmas is her absolute favorite time of year. The only thing I can see with Taylor is maybe because she has dealt with infidelity in the past, and obviously lying is such a huge deal breaker for her. Taylor might be the type who's always trying to catch someone in a lie. Obviously, we don't know any of these people. We haven't seen the show yet, so I'm just making assumptions. We're going to be in the comments just making assumptions. We won't know until we watch the actual show. Okay, let's see. What are you not willing to sacrifice for love?
One thing I wouldn't be able to sacrifice is my alone time.
Robert is 30 years old and he is a special education teacher. After 2 years of being single, Robert is done playing games, except when it comes to family game night, which he hopes to enjoy with his future wife someday. Timing and commitment issues have been the biggest roadblocks to finding the right person to fill his life with unconditional love. Robert is all about looking on the bright side through ups and downs, so someone who nitpicks when things are grand is an immediate turnoff. But an honest, loyal, and loving person will immediately catch his attention in the pods, and if she has a good smile, provided he ever gets to see it, it's game over. Okay, so Robert wants unconditional love and no nitpicking. To me, it's giving he wants someone who will just shut up, go with the flow, love him unconditionally, don't complain about anything, don't nitpick, don't bring up any issues, just shut your ass up and love me unconditionally. That's what it's giving so far, okay? So far.
My weekends, I go fishing with the boys. You're welcome to join.
So Carter is 30. He looks a little older than 30. Carter's only 30 years old. He looks a little bit older than 30. Maybe it's the beard. But Carter is 30 and his job is construction. As a self-described hopeless romantic, Carter says he's the perfection combination of naive and spontaneous. I think they mean the perfect combination to get the very most out of the experiment. And he's never been more ready for a lifetime commitment, admitting that in past relationships, he still had some growing up to do. But now he's fully dialed into the process and he needs his partner to do the same. His biggest pet peeve is bad cell phone etiquette, right? He hopes to find a woman who appreciates his old-fashioned and open-minded attitude and can join him on the river fishing with friends. Okay, now old fashioned, that could go a couple of ways, okay? That can be a good or that could be bad. But he says that he's done his growing up and now he's ready for a relationship, honey. So I guess we'll see.
To me, you're done. The one thing that annoys me the most is when people are not truthful.
So we got Lydia. Lydia is 32 and she is a geologist. As a geologist, the only rock Lydia isn't familiar with is the one she wants on her finger. After turning 30, Lydia is now emotionally mature enough to be married and wants to find a tall, dark, and handsome guy with a big personality who feels the same way. Girl, this is Love is Blind. That shouldn't be the priority. Tall, dark, and handsome. That should not be the priority. You are on Love is Blind. Do you know that you're not going to be able to see if they're tall, dark, and handsome until you say yes and meet in person? I hope she knows that, because these people be coming on these Netflix shows and not knowing the premise of the show. We've seen that with Lisa on The Ultimatum, okay? We're not even gonna get into that. But fair warning, she has zero patience for men who can't communicate, as the key to her heart is transparency and emotional maturity. Lydia hopes to take a step closer to her happily ever after by locking down a forever kind of love, not based on looks. But girl, you just said that you want someone who's tall, dark, and... Okay, she's contradicting herself. She's talking about tall, dark, and handsome in one sentence, and then finding a love that's not based on looks in another sentence, girl. Okay, Lydia, girl.
I don't think I'd ever want to have to sacrifice eating my own full-ass pizza. I want my whole pizza to myself.
Okay, this is Izzy. Izzy was in the trailer after The Ultimatum, so something tells me that we're going to see a lot of Izzy. He's going to get a lot of camera time. He's either going to have a nice love story or he's going to be a hot-ass mess, okay? That's what that tells me. Izzy is 31 and he's in sales. That's very vague. Sales of what is he selling? Like, we want to know. Izzy is proactively searching for a forever type of vibe. Vibe? We not vibing. We trying to get married. We not vibing no more, Izzy. I don't like that word. I don't like that word, okay? And has gone on 2 to 3 dates a week for the past year and a half. 2 to 3 dates a week for the past year and a half. Okay, well, no, let's talk about it. So, Izzy, have you been going on 2 to 3 dates for the past week? Have you been paying for these dates? Because that can be very expensive, right? Even if you're going Dutch, that's expensive. Or are these all coffee dates, Izzy? But he's yet to meet his perfect match because he's often not on the same page emotionally with his romantic partners. Izzy's dream girl would be able to join him in the gym or on a beach for sand volleyball, so athletic women are top of mind. And if she has blonde hair and beautifully colored eyes, it's a plus. Okay, he's giving shake as well. He's giving shake. But most importantly, Izzy hopes an open-minded, good communicator who can love him unconditionally is waiting for him in the pods. I don't like Izzy. I don't like Izzy because he's giving shake. He's giving hair for the wrong reasons. He's giving, I just want a skinny blonde. That's what he's giving. Okay, next. What are you looking for in a partner?
I'm definitely looking for someone that's goal-oriented in either a career or a passion they have.
Oh, Milton. Is Milton the youngest person so far? He's 25. So Milton is a petroleum engineer. Milton might be the youngest guy in the pods. I just said that. But he believes he's mature enough to start looking for his future wife. Milton is typically drawn to women who are older than he is, okay? But he doesn't have a specific type when dating. His biggest turnoff is people who have no ambition, as Milton has been laser focused on his education and career for the past few years. Now that he's back in the dating scene, he's hoping to not repeat mistakes from past relationships, as he has a tendency to self-sabotage and never let people inside. Okay, Milty Poo, we'll see. I don't see any major red flags as opposed to him being young.
10 seconds later.
So Milton is 25 and he likes dating older women. I wonder why. Are you looking for a mommy, Milton? I wonder. I guess we'll find out.
Fun-loving, caring, nice and kind.
Jared is a 32-year-old firefighter. Jared might pose for his local fireman calendars, but when it comes to dating, he needs some help coming out of his shell. In the past, Jared didn't get in depth with relationships, and they've always lacked a genuine connection. The dating scene in Houston is a bit too superficial for his taste, and he says apps and meeting women out at bars aren't geared towards long-term commitment. Jared knows that if he can find a woman in the pods who'll be patient, he'll be able to let down his walls and show his big heart, which he counts as one of his best traits. From that little clip alone, I can tell that Jared does have a couple of walls up. And he wants someone who's patient, but y'all only got a couple weeks, Jared, so you can't have people waiting forever for you to let them walls down. This is an expedited process, baby, okay? You're gonna have to speed it up. You're gonna have to speed it up. They don't got all day to wait for you to break out of your shell, Mr. Firefighter, okay?
Someone who will be able to support just who I am, as well as be an encouragement.
We met Mayra. So she is 25 and she is a minister. We got a minister on Love is Blind? What the hell? Prayers up because Mayra is hoping to find a Ryan Reynolds lookalike who loves God just as much as she does. This is... From what I'm seeing, it seems like we have an equal number of people who seem to be prioritizing looks on both sides, on the men's side and on the women's side. Okay, she wants someone who looks like Ryan Reynolds.
Girl.
As one of the first Hispanic ministers in the Southern Baptist Convention, Mayra is extremely devoted to her faith. Now she's bringing it to the experiment to find a marriage-minded guy to spend the rest of her life with. But after her most recent relationship ended in heartbreak, Mayra says she has to stop allowing things to be okay when they aren't going forward. Now she knows that her perfect match is the guy who ends up sacrificing comfortability to make it work. Okay, I agree with not allowing things to be okay when they aren't. I feel like a lot of women do that. We do go along to get along. We don't want to be a nag. We don't want to vocalize when things really bother us. So I do commend her on saying that she's going to start speaking up more in her relationships. The guy who ends up sacrificing comfortability to make it work. I think in relationships, both people do have to sacrifice to make things work. But to what extent is she to what extent is she talking about, right? I don't think that one person in the relationship should be sacrificing everything to make it work, because then that just means that you two aren't really compatible and maybe you shouldn't be together. But I guess we'll see more of what she means as the season goes on.
That brings me peace, who helps mellow me out and allows me to be comfortable.
Enoch looks like one of my little cousins. Okay, so Enoch is 27 and he is a financial advisor. Enoch has enjoyed being in his single era for the past 5 years, and he doesn't have trouble when it comes to attracting women, but he struggled with making a connection beyond the physical, so he's hoping to dive deep in the pods with a loyal, passionate, and confident person who can match his energy. Traveling around the country for his previous job in sports made it difficult to sustain a long-term connection. But now he's settled back in Houston and ready to commit to a real relationship. He loves spending time in the kitchen. Okay, so he be cooking. That's good. So whoever he ends up with will get to enjoy his cooking skills and an invite to his Taco Tuesday dinners. Okay.
Who will treat me like the queen that I deserve to be treated like, because he's going to get that same thing back from me.
So we got Linda. Linda is 32 and she's a talent acquisition recruiter. It's family over everything for Linda, who comes from a big, loving Nigerian family who want to see her find her perfect match sooner rather than later. They're probably like, hey, Linda, when you gonna have a baby, sis? Linda admits she's been overly picky in the past when it comes to love, and her mom more than agrees, wanting her daughter to look beyond the surface and connect on a deeper level. Linda is finally ready to take the advice and find a respectful, loving, and family-oriented life partner. Linda says that expressing herself is a strong suit, but she can also shut down at times if she's not feeling heard. A lot of us do that, Linda. So yeah.
I'm looking for someone who's adventurous, somebody who's going to be able to go hike up a mountain with me.
I think this is the second Jared. So he is 34 and he's a university director. He actually looks like one of my old professors. Like a slightly younger version of one of my old professors. Ladies who appreciate dad joke humor, yeah, he looks like he would enjoy a good dad joke. Ladies who appreciate dad joke humor and a quirky personality will immediately gravitate towards Jared. He has a history of going above and beyond to make his relationships work, but his past partners just haven't put in the same effort. Now he's looking for a more balanced connection with a woman who loves him just as much as he loves her, because he's done compromising when he should not. If his future spouse can look past his lack of detail in cleaning, they'd find a guy who wants to truly connect with someone and live life with mutual respect and compromise. Does he mean that he's a slob? Is that what he means? You're gonna have to learn how to clean, baby. You're 34. Is that what he mean? Don't make me curse you out, Jared, and that's not what you mean. If his future spouse can look past his lack of detail in cleaning, no, you're gonna have to clean up after yourself, Jared, okay? You're a big boy. You're gonna have to clean up after yourself. I don't like that.
A definite soulmate, just finding the one.
So that was Ernesto. So he is 32 and he's a supply chain manager. Ernesto typically falls for women based on looks, but he signed up for the experiment to keep the physical out and to learn a person's mind first. After years of being single and dating casually, now his sights are firmly set on marriage, preferably with an intellectual woman who can hold a good conversation and appreciates his chill, lighthearted personality. But Ernesto is ready to connect with all types of women in the pods as he can mesh with all backgrounds. That's good, just as long as his dates don't come off as too clingy. So don't be too clingy with Ernesto. Don't be liking him too much. I don't know what to make of that. What do you think? Where is she? I think this is the last person. We got it. Oh no, who's Erica? Did we see Erica?
If you don't like to go to brunch and get bottomless mimosas, it's not gonna work.
We also have Erica. She's 27 and she is a marketing manager. 3 years of dating app disappointments have pushed Erica to take the leap of faith and enter into the pods. No matter what unfolds, she's unwilling to lower her admittedly high standards because, to put it simply, she's a catch who's not going to settle. Period. Okay? Period. Don't lower them. Don't lower them. Erica wants a marriage as strong as her parents so she can experience life's highs and lows with a partner and her best friend. She has a specific guy in mind, one who's ideally funny, outgoing, and obsessed with her. Cocky guys who only talk about themselves should not even bother. All right, so we can already see Erica thinks very highly of herself, as you should, as everyone should. She don't want you to be cocky. She wants a relationship like her parents, and she wants you to be obsessed with her. Now, I don't like that. I know people say that because they think it's cute. I don't think that's cute, especially after dealing with someone who was obsessed with me. I don't want no one to be obsessed with me, okay? That's unhealthy and is scary. And last but not least, we have Johnny. We also saw her in one of the previews. I think she was talking to, what's that guy's name? Oh God, what's his name? I can't remember his name, but I think Izzy. And that also leads me to believe that Johnny's gonna get a lot of camera time and she's either gonna have a beautiful love story or she's gonna be a hot ass mess, okay?
And intelligent, but also someone who has a sense of humor.
Johnny is 32 and she is a lawyer. Johnny is proud to be a constant work in progress, because that means she's always growing. As a lawyer, Johnny has had tremendous success in her career, but hasn't been lucky in love because she always seems to pick the wrong kind of man. Her usual type is slightly younger, pretty boys, girl. But she's coming to the experiment with an open heart and mind. And while she has a habit of being indecisive, she needs a guy who knows exactly what he's looking for. Okay, I think Johnny's gonna be a hot ass mess. I think Johnny's gonna be a little bit of a mess. Tell me what you think below. But I think we got everybody. We got everyone, right? Yeah, so that's it, y'all. That's the cast. Even though we haven't seen them in action yet, tell me your initial thoughts below. Do you have a favorite so far? Do you have a least favorite so far? Because I definitely do. Maybe they'll prove me wrong when the show airs. But as usual, we'll talk about it down below. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe because we will be back to review all of the episodes for season 5. And I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!